Just stop for a moment and think about this. There is no major country in the world today that is not in debt. This is no coincidence. This is not a temporary problem. The United States, the world's largest economy, is in debt by trillions of dollars. Japan, a developed, organized country, has a debt that is more than twice its economy. Many European countries are surviving on debt. So a simple but terrifying question arises. If the whole world is in debt, then who gave the debt? And an even more dangerous question, what if this debt is never repaid? Throughout history, debt has always been a temporary solution. After war, after a natural disaster, or in a major crisis. But in today's world, debt is no longer an emergency solution. Debt has become a system. Today, governments do not ask, how much are we earning? They ask, how much can we borrow? Here a strange paradox arises. If an ordinary person spends more than his income, then he is called reckless. If he constantly borrows, then he goes bankrupt. But if the government does this, then it is called economic growth. This is the paradox that has pushed the world into debt. Mechanics, how does the debt system work? Let's understand in simple language. State debt, which is called sovereign debt, is the money that the government borrows. Where does this money come from? Commercial banks, pension funds, insurance companies, other countries, and most importantly, the central bank. When the government's expenses exceed its income, then it issues bonds. A bond is a promise. Give us money today, and we'll pay it back tomorrow with interest. Here's where the problem begins. To pay back the old debt, new debt is taken out. It's a spinning wheel. Debt cycle. As long as the economy is growing, this wheel keeps turning. But as soon as growth slows down, this wheel becomes a chain. Every debt cycle has a breaking point. Greece is a clear example of this. After 2008, Greece's debt became bigger than its economy. Investors got scared. Interest rates went up, and it became impossible for Greece to borrow. Here the IMF stepped in. The IMF said, "We'll save you, but on our terms." These conditions meant salaries of civil servants reduced, pension cuts, hospitals and schools closed, tax increases. The state was saved, banks were saved, but the people, they paid the price for a decade. This same model was repeated in many countries of the world. Today the world stands at a critical juncture. Interest rates are rising. Debt is becoming more expensive. The debt that was cheap before is now a burden. Governments are left with only two options, either more debt or printing money, and the result of printing money, inflation. Inflation is a silent tax. It hits the rich less, and the poor more. The real truth is, the world did not sink into debt because people made mistakes. The world sank into debt because the entire system is in debt. Debt itself is not bad, but unlimited debt is an illusion of unlimited power. History is a witness. Every debt has a day of reckoning. The only difference is, who pays the price? Now the question is for you. When the next global financial crisis comes, will the world save itself from debt this time too? Or will this system eventually collapse? Be sure to give your opinion in the comments. Imagine you are drowning. You are out of breath. Suddenly someone extends a hand. He says, "I will save you, but on my terms." This hand does not belong to any individual. It is the IMF, the International Monetary Fund. The question is, does the IMF really save countries, or does it push them into a debt from which they cannot recover? Historical background: the IMF was created in 1944. After World War II, the goal was simple: to save the world from another economic crisis. But over time, the role of this institution has changed. Now the IMF does not just give advice, it imposes conditions. And when a country is in crisis, it has no choice but to accept these conditions. This is the moment where the debt trap begins. Mechanics: how does the IMF game work? When a country is close to bankruptcy, exhausted foreign exchange, lost ability to repay debt, investors flee, the IMF comes in. The IMF says, "We'll lend you money, but first do reforms." These reforms mean end of subsidies, electricity, petrol, gas become more expensive, end of government jobs, increase in taxes, lower value of currency. On paper, all this is called economic recovery. In reality, it makes life unbearable for the common man. Crisis/turning point real stories. Greece, the IMF plus the EU saved Greece. But at what cost? 25% unemployment. A whole generation of young people left the country. Suicide rate increased. Argentina, IMF programs came again and again. Each time the debt increased. Each time the economy weakened. Africa and Latin America. The stories are different. The result is the same. The state survives. The banks survive. The people lose. This is the debt trap. Results today's world. Today, dozens of countries are on IMF programs. The problem is not that the IMF exists. The problem is that the entire global system is designed in such a way that, in times of crisis, there is no other way than the IMF. It is economic power, silent power, control without guns. And when debt becomes a policy, then democracy weakens. Resolution/bitter truth. The IMF is neither a villain nor a hero. It is a mirror, which shows how unfair the global system is. The real question is not the IMF. The real question is, why do so many countries repeatedly fall into the same trap? Is the IMF really helping, or is it modern-day financial slavery? Write the truth in the comments. We read, inflation is not an accident. Just think for a moment. Your salary is the same, but vegetables are expensive. Electricity is expensive. Petrol is expensive. And the government says, we did not increase taxes. So the question is, if taxes have not increased, then why are you getting poorer? What you are feeling is not an accident. It is called inflation, and it is the most silent form of taxation/basic truth. We are usually told inflation happens because there was a war, the supply chain broke, or shopkeepers are greedy. But this is not the whole story. History tells us something else. Wherever the state borrowed more, there, inflation arose. This is not a coincidence. This is the result of a policy. Mechanics, how does inflation happen? In simple terms, let's understand. When the government has less money to spend, it has three options. 1. Increase taxes. 2. Borrow more. 3. Or print new money. Raising taxes is politically risky. Debt, it's already too much. So what's the easiest way? Printing money. Printing notes doesn't mean that everyone gets rich. It means the same things. Start chasing more money. The result? Prices go up. Purchasing power goes down. That's inflation. Turning point as a case study. Now let's come to a real example. For years, budget deficit, economy on debt, IMF program. When the government ran out of dollars, the currency fell, the rupee fell. Imports became expensive. Oil, gas, pulses, medicines, all come from abroad. What did the government do? Subsidies ended. Electricity expensive. Petrol expensive. On paper it was said, these are difficult decisions. In reality, it was a storm of inflation. Salary is the same. Life is expensive. It was taxes. Without saying, consequences. Who does inflation hit? Inflation does not hit everyone the same way. The rich have assets, land, stocks, businesses. Their prices increase in inflation. The poor have only cash, only salary. Inflation eats up cash. That's why they say inflation transfers wealth from the poor to the rich. This is why inequality is growing. And this is why the public is angry, but also confused. Resolution/bitter lesson. Inflation is not a natural disaster. It doesn't fall from the sky like rain. It is the result of human decisions. When debt is normalized, then inflation becomes inevitable. This system sacrifices your purchasing power to save itself. Now the question is, if the solution to every crisis is to print money, then can inflation ever Really? And write in the comments, can this system be fixed? Or will we have to learn to live with it? The invisible power. Whenever the economy shakes, a single sentence is heard on TV. The central bank has raised interest rates. The news is over in a few seconds. But the truth is, this one decision changes the lives of millions of people. The question is, who are the people who, with one decision, decide inflation, unemployment, and the life and death of businesses? Those who neither contest elections nor answer to the people are called the central bank. Historical background. There was once a time when the king controlled money. Then governments took over. And then, slowly, this power was transferred to the hands of central banks. Today, almost every country in the world has an independent central bank. It is said, freedom is necessary so that politicians don't waste money. This is half true, because the question is not whether central banks are independent or not. The question is, to whom are they accountable? Mechanics. What do central banks do? The central bank has three major powers. Interest rates. When interest rates rise, borrowing becomes expensive. Business slows down. Unemployment increases. When interest rates fall, borrowing becomes cheap. Markets heat up. Bubbles form. The power to print money. Quantitative easing. One button, and trillions of dollars of currency come into existence. This money does not go directly to the common man. It goes banks, stock market, asset, currency control. One announcement, and the currency goes up or down. These three powers combine to make the central bank the most powerful institution in the state. Turning point 2008 and beyond. Remember the 2008 financial crisis. The banks were collapsing. The system was collapsing. What did central banks do then? They said, too big to fail, and injected trillions of dollars into the system. The banks were saved. The markets were saved. But the common man, homes went, jobs went, salaries stopped. This was the moment when the world saw central banks save the system, not the people. From here, the gap between assets and salaries began to widen. Results. Today's reality. Today, the central bank is in a dilemma. If interest rates are raised, inflation is low, but the economy is slow. If interest rates are kept low, growth is high, but inflation is dangerous. This is a dead end. And the most dangerous thing, central bank decisions are often made by people who are not affected by the system themselves. Neither their salaries stop, nor do their rents increase. This is why trust between the public and institutions is breaking down. Resolution/real truth. Central banks are not a secret conspiracy, but they are not impartial either. They are part of a system that lives on debt and growth. And when the system is in danger, then the decision is always in the system's favor. Now the question is for you. Is there so much power? Should it be held by unelected bodies? Or should control of the economy return to the people? Give your opinion in the comments. This debate is important. Game was never fair. Just think, the world is richer than ever. Companies are making more profits than ever. Stock markets are breaking records. But the average person, he's working harder, working longer hours, and still falling behind. This is no coincidence. The question is, if the system is the same for everyone, why do only a few people benefit? A fundamental contradiction. We are taught one thing from childhood. Work hard, you will succeed. But the data says otherwise. Over the past few decades, productivity has increased. Technology has increased. Profits have increased. But wages, have they almost stopped there? Here's a dangerous contradiction. The system is improving, but the people are not. So the question becomes, where is this growth going? Mechanics. How does the system benefit the rich? Assets versus salaries. The rich have land, property, stocks, business. The poor have only salaries. When central banks print money, asset prices rise, stocks go up, salaries leave behind. This is why the rich get richer and the poor get weaker. Cheaper loans, but not for everyone. Big businesses borrow cheaply, get tax breaks, get bailouts in times of crisis. The common man. Expensive loans, credit cards, penalties. The system says, this is risk management. Really? It's a power differential. Law, but for whom? Rich people, best lawyers, complex tax structures, offshore accounts, poor, straight salary, straight tax. No way. The law is one, but its impact is not the same for everyone. Turning point: the world after the 2008 crisis was a test for the system and for justice. When banks collapsed, they were saved. When people collapsed, they were told, the market will fix itself. After that, the stock market went up quickly. CEO salaries increased. But the common man, stuck in debt, stuck in rent. This was the moment when it became clear the system is not neutral. Conclusions: today's inequality. In the world today, a few people have billions, while millions of people struggle to make ends meet. This is not just an economic problem. This is a social problem. This is a political problem. When people feel that the game is not fair, then trust breaks, anger increases, extremism is born. This is why the world is restless. Resolution: what is the real problem? This system is not in favor of the rich because they are more intelligent. It is in favor of the rich because it rewards assets, not hard work. As long as money continues to beget money, inequality will not end. Now the question is, can this system really be reformed, or will it not change at all without a major crash? Give your opinion in the comments. Is this financial system about to collapse? Vertical bar: the end game. The world has never been so rich, and the world has never been so weak. Record-breaking stock markets, record-breaking debt, record-breaking inflation. It shouldn't have happened all at once. So the question is, are we living in a system that is strong from above and hollow from within? And if this system collapses, will it be slow or overnight? History's warning: every major financial system in history didn't last forever. The Roman Empire's coin, the Spanish gold, the British pound, the gold standard. The same story repeated itself in every era. First debt grows, then a sense of power, then denial of reality, and finally the crash. Every time people said the same thing: this time is different. And every time, they were proven wrong. Mechanics: why has the system become unstable? There are three fundamental weaknesses in today's financial system. Unlimited debt. The world economy is no longer driven by growth, by debt, new debt to pay off old debt. It's a Ponzi-like structure. As long as trust exists. Money printing addiction. In every crisis, central banks push the same button: quantitative easing. This reduces the temporary pain, but increases the disease. Lack of trust. Money is not paper. Money is trust. When people feel that the system is not fair, trust begins to break down. And when trust breaks down, the system collapses. Turning point: danger signals. Today, danger signs are everywhere. Unrest in the bond market, banks under pressure, currency depreciation, the rise of digital currencies. People are asking questions. Is cash safe? Are banks safe? Are pensions safe? These questions are in themselves signs of danger. Because crises do not start with banks, with a breakdown in trust. Consequences: what if the system breaks down? If this system breaks down, it won't all end in one day. But inflation out of control, currency weak, banks tight, credit scarce. The middle class will be the first to be hit. The poor are already hit. The rich will have ways to escape. That's why every major financial crash in history has also brought a social crisis. It's not just a money issue. It's a power issue. Resolution: the real truth. The truth is, this system won't collapse tomorrow, and maybe not even with an explosion. But this system cannot last as it does today. Either it will change slowly, or it will collapse suddenly. History says, man often chooses the other path. The last question, now the last question, to you: when this system changes, will you be ready? Or will, as usual, the common people pay the price? Write in the comments. This is not just a debate. This is a question of our future life.